Hello and welcome to the Computer Guru Show. My name is Mike, here to deal with your technology needs and treat you like a person in the process, because that's what I do. 790-2040 if you would like to be part of the show. That's 520-790-2040. Ask your questions. This is your 1 hour free tech support. I will help you for no money down and no money after. It's just free. It's totally free, I think.
Free's good.
Well, it's free for them. It's not free for me, but it's free for them. All right. So if you have any questions, send them along. Send them along. You can either go to the chat room at gurushow.com, or you can call up and talk to Kent there, 790-2040. So Kent,
Call me.
you were at a concert? You were out of here?
Doobie Brothers, San Jose.
That's a good enough reason to miss the show.
Unbelievable. What? What's so funny?
Just those guys are still rocking, man, and they're like 140 years old.
They're like 65, man. Tom Johnson, John McPhee, Pat Simmons, man, they sounded good.
Right on.
Sounded really good.
Well, I'm glad that you had fun.
I had a good time.
Now you have to work.
Now I'm back to work.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Kind of dating myself going to the Doobie Brothers, but, it's all right. I'm an old guy. Right? Older. Middle age. How about that?
Yeah, you're an upper middle age.
Upper middle age, Doobie Brothers kind of guy.
All right, so if you have any computer questions, we want to hear them. Now, last week I said I wasn't talking about solid-state drives, and guess what we didn't talk about last week? Solid-state drives. There was none of that. And it's mostly because, we get off topic every once in a while. People call, conversations happen.
It's live radio, baby.
And then suddenly I'm not talking about the things that I want to talk about. So this week, we're going to talk a little bit about solid-state drives, a little bit about backups, and a little bit about websites. Now, Rob was supposed to be here this week. He didn't make it. He's got other things going on. He's a busy dude. He's got to make some websites. He's got to do stuff. He's got to work hard. So, so it's just me today. And Tara's off visiting with her husband's in town. So, visiting with family. So you just have to put up with me today. Now, Ken, you know about solid-state drives. I mean, you're kind of a techie by day.
A little bit, yes, by day. Just got a new laptop with a solid-state drive.
What do you think?
Quick.
Yes.
Quick. Yeah.
It used to be that we told people the most cost-effective upgrade you could do to your machine was give it more RAM. And to a certain extent, it's still a feasible and recommended thing to do. Put as much memory on your machine as it'll hold, within reason. All right, because some of the new machines, they'll hold 128 gigs of RAM, and there's no reason for that. However, it's a good upgrade to do. It makes the machine a lot more responsive. It prolongs the life of the hard drive. It does all kinds of really cool things by having extra RAM in the machine. So if you're poking around on this machine with 2 gigabytes of RAM, or even 4 in today's standards, it's totally not enough. It's not. So check the RAM on your computer. You got less than 8 gigabytes? Yeah, you should fix that. You should fix that right now. And you should consider maybe 16 or even 32. There's not really any point of going above 32, in my opinion, unless you're doing some really specialized things. However, it's a great upgrade. RAM right now is extra cheap. Right? So you can pick up 8 gigabyte sticks for $90. Yeah, so for $180, you can have 16 gigs of RAM on your machine, and the responsiveness of your computer will be much, much better.
It's like a 10, 15 second boot up time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So the machine I've got at home is it's a machine that I had built for doing video editing when I was intending to run video with the show. And so I built this machine just to handle show video. And it's never been used for that, just because we never did the video thing for this show. But, I mean, from power on to everything is loaded and I'm sitting at my desktop, 7 seconds. Right? It's quick. It is really quick. And a lot of that is because 32 gigs of RAM on it, and a 4-drive solid state array. Right, so it is stupid fast.
Beefy.
Yeah, and that's where I want to see everybody at. All right, I want to see everybody get to the point where they at least have a solid state in their machine. Now let's talk about throughput speeds for a second. Let's say that you've got a really nice. We'll start with the low end. You've got that machine, that hard drive that came with your machine, and you bought sort of a budget computer. You've got like a Dell or whatever. And if you're at the lower end, you got something like a 500 gigabyte Western Digital Green in that machine. And just so you know, Western Digital drives are all color coded. So, or if you got like certain types of HPs, in fact, most HPs, it came with some type of Samsung drive in it. And they're not very good. They're just terrible. So any Seagate drive is going to be sort of the bottom of the line. It's going to be very similar to the Western Digital Green, which is touted as their energy efficient, power saving drive, but really translates to it's kind of slow and a little crappy, so we'll sell it to you for cheap. And the average throughput speed on one of those drives is you're looking at like 20 to 50 megabits per second. Or megabytes per second. It's not terribly fast. Now, compared to 10 years ago, yeah, that was really fast. But nowadays, most of the mid-range machines will come with like a Western Digital Blue or Black. And if you've got a Blue, you're looking at 50 to 90 megabytes per second. If you've got a Black, somewhere between 80 and 150 or so megabytes per second.
So does it go green, blue, black? That's it?
There's a red also,
okay.
But those are specialty. And they have some yellows, which are corporate drives. And those are fast. Those are really fast. But in the regular drive market, green, blue, black. And so the black ones at the top end are 150 megabytes per second or so. They're rated for faster than that, but you never see it. So let's say that you've got one of those machines. You've got like a mid-range machine. We'll go ahead and average and say that you're getting about 70 to 80 megabytes per second with a conventional drive. Even on the low end, budget solid-state drives, you're looking at a throughput of 480 megabytes per second. And that's the cheap one. So let's say that if you have an average read-write speed of 80 megabytes per second and across all the conventionals, if you were to average all of the production model solid-state drives, you'd have an average of about 600 megabytes a second.
What's the price differential roughly between the?
Well, if you're doing like price per gig, there's a pretty big difference. All right, you can pick up a 1 terabyte conventional drive for around $100, maybe a little less. And it's going to cost you about the same amount of money for a 256 gigabyte solid state. So 1/4 of the capacity for the same price. But the trade-off is speed and lots of it. Really, really fast. And if you start putting those things into an array, like the one I've got at home is a RAID 10, it is fast. Holy moly. All right, so the tested throughput speed on the RAID 10 at my house is 2.2 gigabytes per second.
Is it water cooled?
No, that one's air cooled, but it's really fast. So imagine the performance increase, right? So we tell people, go ahead and put some RAM in your machine. Right? You spend $100 on RAM and you get that 8 or 16 gigabytes of RAM, depending on what your machine will take. And already you see, let's say, a 20% improvement in speed, right? Just by adding RAM without changing anything else. Then you spend another $120, $150, and you go solid state with the machine. Not only do you have a drive that's estimated to last 7 years as opposed to the 4-year on a conventional drive, it's many, many times faster. If you have you've got a machine that's, let's say, 3 years old, and your drive is still in decent shape, if you do a RAM upgrade and a solid state upgrade, that machine will be faster than it has ever been, ever. Like, faster than the day you bought it. And so you've got a $200 investment versus a $600 investment to get another machine.
Makes sense.
So that's something worth looking at. And if you have questions about this stuff, we want to hear from you. 790-2040. In the meantime, I have to take a moment to mention my sponsor. And that would be Perfection Auto Works. Mike Emery and the guys down there, they treat you right. They do a 26-point free inspection, just like we do, free diagnostics at my place. And just like Computer Guru, they do great work, and they stand behind what they do. So give them a call. Go visit. At least go to their website, perfectionautoworks.com. Great people. I mean, the dude's got a waiting list, right? That says something, right? He's got a whole bunch of people working for him and still has a waiting list. And like I've said before, I have friends that drive here from other states just to get their car worked on by him. So that's a testament to who he is and the work he does. perfectionautoworks.com. Check him out. We'll be right back.
Computer troubles? Need some advice? Call in now. Mike Swanson will be back after these messages. The Computer Guru Show, AM 1030, KVOY, The Voice. Your technology guru, Mike Swanson, is answering all your questions one by one.
Yes, science!
So chime in with yours. The website is gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show, 790-2040 if you'd like to be part of the show. If I could actually get words out of my face. I'm not wording well today. All right, let's take some calls here. Let's talk to Ralph. Hello, Ralph. How are you?
Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
I was driving along listening to your show, and I had a question about upgrading RAM memory. I've got a Lenovo with 4 gigabytes of RAM. You know, I'm not sure on the processor speed. It's a quad core with 2-something gigabytes on the processor.
Right.
But and it runs pretty well, with one exception. I visit a lot of websites that are news-oriented, and it's not unusual to go to a website and then you get 16 different pop-ups, advertising, video sidebar advertising, and that's when my machine will bog down trying to load a video on a news site. Will upgrading RAM improve the speed for that specific task?
Well, yes, but we should probably deal with the larger problem is you're using the wrong browser.
Okay.
All right, so if you're getting pop-ups like that, then that probably means you're using Internet Explorer.
Well, no, I'm using Firefox, but I mean, nowadays when you go to a newspaper or an online magazine website, they throw so much advertising at you.
Do you ever heard of Ad Blocker?
No.
You need Ad Block on there.
Okay.
So there's several of them out there, but the one I use personally is AdBlock Plus.
Okay.
And so there's a plug-in for Firefox, and just for the record, everybody knows I hate Firefox. But there is a plug-in for Firefox for AdBlock Pro or AdBlock Plus, sorry. And and it will make, if not all of them, a vast majority of those advertisements go away.
Wonderful. I did not know that. I'll chase AdBlock Plus, and the RAM memory, will that increase the speed or how quickly some of these online news site videos load?
Well, not exactly. What RAM does is it gives you a greater responsiveness when things load on the machine. So you're still dependent on a couple of other things. How quickly can your internet provide that video to you, and how quickly can your hard drive swap out memory to make room available for that to play. So the more RAM you have, the less your machine has to wait on things like swapping memory out to the hard drive.
Okay.
So the responsiveness is improved. It doesn't make everything faster overall.
Right.
Because there's other factors at play here. Like, who's your internet provider?
Comcast.
Okay.
And
Do you know?
I have
Do you know which package you have?
Not off the top of my head. It's not their top end. It's not their bottom end. It's somewhere in the middle.
Great, and that's perfect. That's where people should be. All right, they should be towards the lower end, but not at the bottom.
Okay.
And that should be plenty. Now, there's some other things involved. If you're wireless, depends on the router you have, basically the geometrics and the materials of your house. All these things play into how quickly things happen on the internet.
Okay.
So
Well, I appreciate the information about AdBlocker Plus, and I'll definitely upgrade my RAM. And I appreciate your help.
all righty. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So yeah, there's a lot going on there. But start with, in this particular case, yeah, you need some ad blocker on there, right? Because yeah, those things take up memory, and Firefox is a terrible memory hog to begin with. And so if you start adding a whole bunch of flash videos and on these sidebar advertisements and things that are taking up extra RAM, and in many cases you'll see that those advertisements are infectious. And you may be thinking, well, I'm going to a reputable website. I shouldn't have that problem. But the reputable website that you're going to doesn't control the ad space. They sell it to an ad broker. The ad broker then sells it to clients. The clients can be malicious if they want to be, and nobody will know until it's too late. So block all the ads you can. And I mean, I understand that these people are paying for advertising, but luckily they don't get charged if you don't see it. But there's got to be a better way, right? If your advertisements come up looking like hey, download this, or it's something that's flashing to get your attention or playing music, you don't deserve to advertise to me. And that's how I see it. All right, if you're gonna do advertisements, do it right. Especially, work on your word of mouth. Build a great product. There you go.
What a concept, huh?
Yeah. All right, let's talk to Shane. Hello, Shane. How are you today?
Great, Mike. And we know each other. I'm a producer for a show, and I have a ton of video and audio, gigabytes, about a decade's worth.
Yep.
And right now, I have it basically on a external hard drive. It's a 2 terabyte hard drive. But I was recently at a business meeting, and one of the guys said, "Hey, if you don't have stuff backed up 3 ways, you're in danger of losing it." So I wanted your opinion, what should I be doing to make sure, again, what I can do to keep the audio and video as secure as possible,
Well,
so that I don't lose it somehow.
I think 3 ways is a little much. At least 2 backups of different methods are required. All right. And if you have 2 backups, that means there's 3 copies of the data. So here's your live copy, your first backup, and your second backup.
Okay. So you're counting the first one that you're working with, because generally I try and keep it all off my actual laptop, just so I'm not bogging down all the data on my laptop. So right now I literally have everything on one external hard drive.
Oh, yeah, that's dangerous.
Okay.
So, yeah, you need to back that up somewhere. Here's what I would suggest. Would people with large volumes of data, right, where let's say you have important data that on a scale of 1 to 10 is like an 8 or greater as far as importance to you, and it's more than a terabyte, then you have to switch to some type of a rated external drive. So instead of having that single, what brand is it, by the way?
It is a Green Drive Phantom drive, the aluminum case with the fanless.
I wonder what's in there. Okay. Because if you say a Seagate drive, I'm going to cry for you. I'm just going to go ahead and say
No.
Okay, so you need to switch to a rated type of external drive. Now, they're a little pricey, right? You're looking at a couple $100 just for the enclosure at the minimum, plus your drives to put in it. So, yeah, you're going to go ahead and spend, $300-$400 to make this happen. But the upside is that you have a live backup of your data already, right, in a rated situation. You have 2 drives that mirror each other.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can build like an unraid box, right, and those are cheap. It's price of a computer, price of a drive, price of a license, right, about the same as you'd spend for a rated external. Anyway, so once you have that, that's a much safer place to put your data rather than that single external drive, because if that drive fails, it's a single point of failure. Everything's gone. So if you have some type of a RAID enclosure or some type of a RAID setup that you're saving the data to, then at the very least the data is on 2 drives to begin with, a minimum of 2 drives. So if one of those drives fails, all your data is still accessible to you.
And is there any preference as far as solid state versus magnetic drives?
Well, I mean, if you've got a large array, then and it's cold storage, it's stuff that you don't access all the time. Conventional drives are good enough and probably recommended, just cost wise. Sure, you can buy a whole bunch of 256 drives or 512s or whatever and make a large array to store all your stuff. But if you're not accessing it all the time, why would you spend the money on solid state? So I would go with conventional drives in a RAID setup and then have an offsite backup of some type. Or maybe back up your RAID array every so often to that single external and keep it offsite somewhere.
Gotcha.
So you need to have some way to have copies of the data that are stable. So if you have a singular drive that you're storing stuff to, that's a bad idea, especially if it's important. If you need help with that, we do that. We can help you.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. I think I've heard you talk about doing, you actually do backup and off-site storage for you guys, right?
Right, and we can also build an on-site backup server for you that you keep in your location. So,
okay.
So if you want that type of thing, you give me a call. We'll talk about it.
I will call the office Monday.
Excellent. 304-8300.
Okay. You guys have a great weekend. Great show.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it. So, Kent, you deal with backups and stuff through because by day you're tech.
Well, I get a little techie. More of a document management system administrator is what I am.
But those documents, right? You're digital and in the healthcare industry, so that stuff's important. That stuff's backed up somewhere.
Yeah, I think we use NetApp.
Yeah?
What it's not
Rack storage.
It's not traditional hardware, right? Is it
sort of
kind of a?
It's a pass-through.
Okay. Yeah.
So backups are super important.
Yeah.
And, it leads me to talk about something that happened yesterday. All right, and I'll tell you the truth. I was irritated yesterday. I was not a happy guru yesterday, and it was based on the fact that somebody called us up as a referral. A friend referred him to us, and his machine was just jacked up, and he ended up falling for one of those phone scam things where you think you're calling like Microsoft and you end up calling like iYogi or one of those baloney tech people in India. And nothing against the Indian people, but they weren't Microsoft.
It is what it is, man. That's where it's coming from.
And so he fell for that and got his machine all jacked up, even worse. And they were like, for $600 we'll fix it or whatever. Their prices are going up for those guys, by the way.
Wow.
And so he ended up coming to me. But at this point, the machine is it's hosed. And he said, I need you to make this one piece of software work. And this was a few weeks ago that he asked. And I was like, great. So we made the one piece of software work, but just because of all the stuff, the trauma the machine had been through with the previous people, not everything was working great. All right, the machine was just unstable. And it's not something we noticed because we were told, just fix this one software. So that's what we did. And so yesterday I ended up just refunding the guy. Right, just everything that we've done, just here's your money back. I'm sorry you had this problem. And the part that I can't say to him on the phone is just because you didn't have a backup, because you didn't keep track of your data, and on top of which you didn't call me first rather than dealing with India. Right? Suddenly I'm losing money because of it. All right, I'm the one that put in a bunch of time to make that software work and put in a new drive for you because the drive was just hosed and you didn't have a backup. And so we did the best we could by just recovering the data off this old, failing, terrible drive. And suddenly that emergency, is the emergency of you not having a backup is something that's my fault. And I was so angry about it yesterday. I was just driving around town and I was just like, why? Why is it my fault, right, that you didn't have a backup? And it's like, I've spent 8 years every weekend telling people, you need to have a backup, right? In the historical versions of this show, there were 80,000 people listening to this show. And I must have saturated Tucson at some point, right, to say, you need backups. You need them in a big way. You need to make sure that you always have a backup of your data. And yet, every week we have people come in and they're like, well, everything's gone, and they're very upset about it, and it's somehow our fault. And it's just like, well, you didn't make a backup. It's kind of like Computers 101. Make a backup of your data. Now, if you don't know how, that's absolutely something that I am willing to teach you. Willing to show you. I'm willing, you call me on the phone and I will tell you how to do it. And it won't cost you anything, right? I'll just tell you. If you have this type of machine, this is what you click on. This starts a backup. Done. You want us to come out and do it for you? We'll do that. Sure, there's a charge for it, but I will make sure that your data doesn't go away. Or you want to just back it up over the internet to me? Cool. Not a big deal. If you're a business, we'll do that for you. Right? We have services for that. If you're a residential customer, there's Carbonite, there's Mozy, there's all of these, there's Backblaze, all of these places that specialize in backups and making sure that your data is safe. So don't be angry at the guy that you go to for help because you didn't make a backup. That's all I'm saying. It's
after the fact, man.
I'm here to help.
Yeah.
I'm not here to like rub your nose in it. I'm just I want you to be safe. So make a backup.
You're a guru, not a genie.
That's a good one.
Right?
Very nice. Let's take a break, shall we?
Let's do it.
We're going to go to a break. Give us a call, 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. We'll be right back. And I'll even be in a better mood. Promise.
Your computer guru, Mike Swanson, is here to help you tame that beast of a machine. Join the chat right now at gurushow.com or call in. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOY, The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show on KVOI, The Voice.
Welcome back to the Computer Guru Show, 790-2040 if you want to be part of the show. Now, we talk about Japan a lot when it comes to, like, robots and stuff. And a lot of it's just gimmicky or... I don't know, I mean, sure, it's making advancements, progress, I suppose, in robotics. But most of them, I'm like, yeah, I don't really see a point in that. I don't get it. But I have found a robot that I can get behind. Finally.
What?
Do you hate folding laundry? I hate folding laundry. I can't handle it. Right? It's just
Necessary evil.
It is a necessary evil. It's one of those things. By the way, kids, chores never end ever. You just become more responsible for them. Yeah, folding laundry is my nemesis. It's like, it's the thing I it's so excruciating for me. It's just like, really? This is so inefficient. I mean, I like having clean clothes. And I'm a big fan of having no wrinkles in my clothes. So yeah, it could be that I'm a little too anal about it. But
You think?
could be.
A little bit. Tad.
However, they have developed a robot in Japan that will wash your clothes, dry them, and fold them. All you do is throw them in.
There you go.
It looks like a cupboard, and it takes 7 hours.
Well,
But you just throw it in there before you go to bed. You wake up to clean clothes.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Just throw them before you go to bed. They're ready for you in the morning.
Right. Or almost ready if you sleep like me. so yeah, I can get behind this. I like it. We'll put links in the show notes because I think they're taking pre-orders for these robots in Japan. I don't think we can get them here yet.
All for the low fee of.
Oh, they're not even saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like.
Final product's going to be in 2019. Yeah.
Wow.
Get a couple of years.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I have to just fold my clothing and just wish the robot was here.
4 more
already.
years of drudgery.
Yeah, it's just terrible. Although I bet it would cost less for me to hire somebody to do laundry for me.
I almost went there. Put in your order now if you want to be the guru
That's
laundry
right.
person.
Know anybody who wants to do laundry for a low fee?
790-24.
Give us a call. Oh, on-air applications. Okay. They are a little bit robot kind of crazy over there. A little bit.
I don't know where that comes from.
I don't know. Too much science fiction, I think.
Video machine.
I don't know, but they've definitely they've got a focus, right? There is a focus on robotics in Japan, and I'm happy for that. All right, even though the fictitious suicide bot was not real, which is sort of, I don't know, it's it makes me happy and sad all at the same time that it doesn't exist. But there's a lot of emphasis on robotic everything. They've got hotels there that are completely robotic. Did you know that? Completely robotic hotels. So there's one that you can't get in your room except for through facial recognition, and you can't operate any of the appliances except by tablet, and room service and all that stuff is robotic. Even the housekeeping, from what I understand, is robotic. So yeah, there's definitely an emphasis on robotics over there. And maybe it's just because the population loss that they've had over the last generation. It's like nobody's breeding in Japan, so they need people to.
Let's shift that focus.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Okay, this is laundry folding hour.
Yeah.
So, Mike, why would you even think to fold laundry? Because if it's a shirt, you're going to put it on a hanger and hang it up. If it's pants, you're going to put it on a hanger and hang it up. If it's socks, underwear, whatever that is, and T-shirt, you're going to stuff them in a drawer. Does anybody care how wrinkly your underwears are?
Well, I care. No.
Okay, you got a problem. Life's too short to waste folding laundry.
You know what I can't stand? Wrinkled socks. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my
just
God.
kidding. Just kidding.
You're wearing the wrong kind of socks.
No, and I do hang everything up. But, it's just like I've got this thing that's going on that is both a gift and a curse. Right? One, my clothes last forever. Right? Because I take care of them. Other than jeans, which I have to replace all the time. Shirts and stuff, they'll last years and years and years.
Yeah,
I've got clothes from 20 years ago.
But you're not folding them.
No, I'm hanging
them up.
I'm hanging them. But here's the deal. The whole laundry thing bothers me. So I have enough clothes that I can go like a month without doing laundry. And then the problem is that I have a month's worth of laundry to do.
And that's on purpose. Well, the first part was.
Well, it sort of just happened, right? It's just like, I get some clothes for Christmas. And then suddenly I have an extra 3 days worth of outfits, and then suddenly I have a year's worth of laundry to do. That's what's going to happen. All right, it's going to end up where I'm going to have to do laundry once a year.
Well, you could make your own automated laundry system, a little conveyor belt that dumps everything into the washing machine, and hamper goes to the washing machine. Then
I think I'm just going to hire somebody.
Well, there you go.
That's what it's going to have to happen. But thanks for the call, Mark. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for the show.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate that too.
Yeah, everybody's doing laundry today. I have to do laundry today. This is just terrible. It's terrible. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Whether you're dealing with hardware installation or, heaven forbid, a virus, Mike Swanson is answering all your questions one by one. So call in or chat in with yours. The website, gurushow.com. Tune in, click in, and kick back. This is the Computer Guru Show on AM 1030 KVOY The Voice. Mike Swanson, your computer guru, is just a click away. Listen and watch at gurushow.com. This is the Computer Guru Show.
All right, so I had to save this part for the end of the show. That way I couldn't rant too long about it. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, I don't know if you've heard about this thing, but it has some interesting provisions in it. And it's another one of those, don't do bad stuff with your computer type laws. And it's, as usual, my complaint is that it's written by morons. And it's people that don't understand technology being fueled by fear writing laws. And that to me has always been a problem. So when you have things like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, there's a provision in there that says that if, let's say that you're some teenage kid and you rip a DVD with your laptop, there's a provision in there that says that your laptop can be seized and destroyed for circumventing digital rights management or any type of protection. So if you are, let's say the most nefarious of our group is that DVD ripper, then your machine could be seized and destroyed. If you are, as an example, a white hat hacker, or you want to be able to check the security of your own network, if you were to try to hack your own network to verify that it's safe, or you want to verify that the antivirus that you're using is good, so you generate your own test virus to test on your own network, technically it's a violation of the TPP, and you could have your machines seized and destroyed. Now, there are, as an example, Canada has signed also the TPP, and so has the United States and Chile and a bunch of other countries are all signed onto this thing, but none of them have ratified the deal yet as far as making it a part of their local laws. As an example, in Canada, they don't even have laws for seizure of personal property by the government. So they're going to have to add laws to allow the government to seize property based on the TPP guidelines. So there needs to be a little bit of pushback, I think. So, if you have an opportunity, there's a bunch of websites you can go to. You can click on, and it will send a letter to your senator, your congressman, to complain about people getting all up in your business. And anybody who's listened to this show long enough knows I have a big problem with people getting up in my business, right? And taking away freedoms and liberties. I think it's a very important thing for us to hold on to those, because they are disappearing when it comes to the internet and in a fast way. I'll let other shows talk about how liberties are being affected in other areas of your world, but when it comes to technology, you got SOPA, PIPA, whatever, all right? And now this TPP, they just need to stop. And if it goes through, if it becomes something where it becomes a ratified thing, then the next step is a revolt against DRM, right? Which is you don't buy DRM products. You just don't. All right, it means that Keurig that you wanted to buy, you can't buy it because it's DRM. In that case, let's take that example. It's like Keurig made it so that you can only use Keurig cups with their makers. And this is all the while there is a huge market of K-Cup alternatives, right? You can buy them from different companies. They even make special stickers you can stick over regular, or different types of K-cups to make them work.
You get the little adapter.
Right, the adapter. All of that is a DRM circumvention, which means that your device could be seized or destroyed. And it's just dumb. It is so dumb.
Yeah, I think the Keurigs are a little bit overrated anyway.
Yeah, they are a little bit. That's besides the point, though. All right, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors. Perfection Auto Works, thank you very much for sponsoring the show. And you can show your support for any of our sponsors, like Perfection Auto Works or Desert Pro Commercial Cleaners. You can they sponsor us through Patreon, and so you can also patreon.com/Guru Show. Gives you an opportunity to give as little as $1 a month if you'd like to help us out. It definitely helps pay the bills, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Desert Pro Commercial Cleaners, they do the cleaning over at the Harrison location. You can go check out their work, 64 North Harrison, and they do a great job. So we recommend you use them as well. As always, come see us down at Computer Guru at 510 East Fort Lowell or 64 North Harrison, or give us a call, 304-8300, or visit us on the web at azcomputerguru.com. We'll see you next week.